Hi there and welcome back. My name's Ty Strickland and today I'm going to be showing you an on plein air painting I did this past week and kind of give you more insights into the mind of an artist and what we think about while we paint. And yeah, I hope you like it. It's pretty early in the morning, but we're gonna do our first plein air painting, and this is the view we're working with. Alright, welcome to the voiceover. To begin this painting, I'm just going to start by laying in the drawing. I'm using just a graphite pencil for this. I just want to get out my main proportions before I go ahead and get started with oil paint. And just a little technical information before we talk art stuff. My process for this painting is just going to be the same as my normal paintings, just a block in and detail process, but I'm just condensing it into one layer because we're painting alla prima. Now, just to give you some context for where I am, this past week I went up with my childhood best friend to her late great-grandma's lake house, and being up there, being surrounded by, you know, all the memories and stuff like that, I thought painting this little statue that she had in her yard would be a great way to kind of commemorate both our time there and also, you know, her as a person. And there's so much Catholic iconography and stuff like that all over the house and stuff because she was Catholic. And so this statue of what looks like a priest, who's the head of the statue is since fallen off, but I just felt like people can look at that statue if they've been here and know that that was hers. I feel like as artists, we should be looking for those things that we love and what move us, and you shouldn't be choosing your subject based on what other people want you to paint, what other people think will sell. I heard a podcast once where someone said, it's not about originality, it's about authenticity. And that's really stuck with me, especially in this painting, because there were plenty of other things that I saw in my time there that I definitely could have painted, but this, for some reason, it spoke to me. I loved the way it was leaning up against that tree, and I actually moved some rocks around to put them in front of the statue, so you'll see them later, but those were placed there. But I thought creating that little composition, very focused in, it's not a grand landscape or anything, but I don't know, something about it just was calling to me. I found through this experience that on plein air painting has been so beneficial for teaching me better color mixing, teaching me better observation skills, and I'm definitely going to be doing it a lot more often than I have been. It's also nice to just get out of the studio sometimes and paint stuff that's out in the real world instead of relying on photographs, which there's nothing wrong with working for photographs. I work from them all the time, but sometimes I do like having that immediate, I have to react to the environment that I'm in, and that's reflected in the painting. And I feel like people can see that, you know. I listened to another thing that was talking about people, you should feel something from art before you see something. And along with that, he says that you only get the energy out that the artist has put into it. That's the only, you know, the laws of energy, it can't be created or destroyed, so you can only feel the energy that the artist put into the painting. And I feel like with this painting, I felt so much energy coming off of it when I was done with it, because I felt like I did connect with something deeper. Now for a little bit more of the technical side. I've completed covering the canvas. My medium for this painting is just pure linseed oil mixed with my paints, and the first pass I mainly used a slicker paint, meaning I put more linseed oil in it to just cover the canvas. But for my detail work, I'm not going to be adding any more linseed oil. I'm just going to be painting into the layer that's already there. This I found is a lot easier than trying to get detail right away, and it keeps me from getting super muddy colors. So I found it to be a pretty good method for like on plein air painting like this. I have tried other mediums like liquid and oleo gel and other things like that, but to me, I like the linseed oil look, especially at the end. Now, if I had a camera on the actual subject, you would see that throughout this whole process, the light is constantly changing. And that's something as like a plein air painter, you do have to battle, is that your light source and your image can shift almost instantaneously. And something I do to combat that is If you notice in the early part of this painting, I laid in a lot of my dark tones first, and I saved a lot of my highlights for around this time in the process. That way I could get my forms correct and stuff like that, and then add my lights on later on and solidify where my shadows are, and then that way I can work from there. You can even see, if you look at the light that's hitting my paper right now, it's constantly changing throughout the process as well. So that's another little aspect of what I mean by solidifying your shadows and then adding your highlights later on. Another thing I'm doing that I do in my regular oil paintings when I'm layering is that I'm saving my tonal best for last, so I'm not using any bright whites at all right now, or even like higher key or higher chroma colors. I will save that for the end of the process. Now, along with doing these paintings while I was here, we did have a fun time as well. We did go down to the lake. We, hung out, just talked about old times and really got to reflect. Being out here in the middle of nowhere, not much cell service or anything else to do, so we really got to, catch up and hang out, and I really enjoyed that time while I was here. As artists, we also need to learn how to relax sometimes, because I know it's very easy to get stuck into that habit of like, I need to produce, but sometimes it is helpful to just sit back and reflect and, think about what you want, think about what you want to paint, think about how you want to do that. And with that information, take it back into the studio and implement that into your own work once you're back. I feel like these exercises don't mean anything if you don't take something like that from it and implement it into your own work. So at this point I have started laying in my higher tones, my highlights, and also my darkest darks, but something I'm playing around with in this painting in the highlights is making the highlight the complementary opposite of whatever the midtones and shadows are. So for example, in the tree highlights over on the left, I made more of a blue highlight to go along with the orange tone of the tree to make it stand out more, because when complementary opposites are next to each other, they make them stand out. And I'm doing the same thing with the statue, except with the statue, the midtones and shadows are a little more yellow. And so for the highlights for the statue, I'm making them a more purple tone. Something like that for me just helps create a lot more interest in the painting. It makes it a lot more vibrant, and it kind of goes into that energy thing I was talking about earlier. Now, if you're an artist trying to get into plein air painting as an oil painter, or even in a medium like watercolor or gouache, I would recommend getting some sort of easel to work on. This one I'm working on is a French easel. I found this one on Amazon for probably $60 to $70. There's definitely some higher end plein air setups that you can use. I'm probably going to be investing in some soon, but this French easel does work perfect. The only downside is it is a little bulky sometimes, but it has legs on it and it has everything. It has storage, it has everything you would need to where you don't necessarily need to carry anything extra along with it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, like and subscribe down below. Leave a comment as well if you want to see more content like this. Happy painting, y'all. I'll see you next time.